Okay, so here's the thing. Imagine you're backing out of a spot at the grocery store. You're moving at maybe 2 miles per hour, suddenly tap. You hit a plastic pole, you get out, heart racing, expecting the worst. But when you look, it's just a tiny scratch, a scuff. You think, fine, I'll just buff that out, or maybe pay a couple $100 at the local shop. Then you get the estimate. $3,000? $3,000. When I first saw these numbers, I couldn't believe it. We're talking about a piece of plastic. But here's where it gets wild. That plastic isn't just a bumper anymore. It's a high-tech housing for the car's brain. According to recent data, the average cost to fix a modern bumper with sensors has ballooned to between $2,800 and over $5,000. That is a 180% increase in just 3 years. Let that sink in for a second. Is your wallet feeling the pinch yet? Seriously? Have you noticed this at the repair shop lately? Or maybe your insurance agent gave you some bad news recently? Because, honestly, this part is what blew my mind. A simple side mirror, something you used to fix with a screwdriver and $20, now costs over $1,000 to replace. It's not just a mirror anymore. It's a camera, a heater, and a blind spot monitor all wrapped in one non-serviceable unit. Now, you're probably asking, why? It's just a sensor, right? Well, here's where the math gets tricky. Underneath that thin plastic shell, your car has what I like to call digital eyes. These are radar sensors and cameras that tell the car when to brake or how to stay in your lane. And these eyes are incredibly sensitive. If you nudge that bumper even by a fraction of an inch, those sensors get cross-eyed. A 1-degree tilt at the bumper means the sensor is looking 40 feet off target down the road. It's like trying to walk in a straight line while wearing someone else's glasses. If the car's brain realizes its eyes are crooked, it shuts down the safety systems. To fix it, you can't just slap the bumper back on. You need a mandatory sensor calibration. This is the part nobody talks about. That calibration alone can cost $600. Why? Because the shop needs specialized targets, a perfectly level floor, and proprietary software that talks to the manufacturer's cloud. In fact, ADAS, that's Advanced Driver Assistance Systems, now accounts for nearly 40% of your total repair bill. Next time you see a smart car, don't just see a vehicle. See a computer on wheels that requires a software engineer just to fix a dent. Does your paycheck feel smaller lately because of car upkeep? I'm genuinely curious if you've had to deal with one of these hidden calibration fees. It feels like we're paying a tech tax just to keep our cars on the road. It's fascinating, but also a little exhausting for the average driver. But wait, there's more to this story. If the parts are just sensors, why can't we buy cheaper ones? This is the part that really changed how I think about car ownership. Manufacturers are moving towards something called parts pairing. Think of it like this. Your car is becoming like a smartphone. If you try to swap a screen on a modern phone with a third-party part, sometimes the Face ID stops working. Car companies are doing the same thing. They use software locks that require a digital handshake between the new part and the car's computer. If you don't use an official, expensive OEM part, the car simply won't accept the repair. The OEM parts price index has jumped over 13% recently because of this digital velvet rope. The strategy here is clear. Companies like BMW and Tesla are seeing their software service revenue skyrocket. They aren't just selling you metal anymore, they're selling you access. By locking the software, they force you out of the local affordable mechanics shop and straight back to the dealership, where labor rates can hit $250 an hour. It's a closed-loop system designed to keep the profit inside the family. Now, let me put this in perspective because it's not all bad news. Back in the 1970s, the government mandated 5 mph bumpers. These were heavy, ugly steel beams designed to take a hit without a scratch. They were tanks. But while the car survived, the people inside often didn't. All that force went straight to the passengers. Today, we've traded that physical armor for a digital shield. And it works. Front-to-rear crashes have been cut in half thanks to these sensors. We are surviving accidents that used to be fatal. We've achieved incredible safety, but it has come at the cost of what I call financial fragility. We used to have dumb cars that were cheap to fix but dangerous to drive. Now, we have genius cars that save our lives but bankrupt our bank accounts for a parking lot mistake. It's a complex trade-off. We are safer than ever, but our cars have become so delicate that a 20% chunk of all insurance claims now end in a total loss. That means 1 in 5 accidents results in the car being scrapped because the sensors are just too expensive to recalibrate. Safe? Yes. Affordable? That's where it gets complicated. So where does this leave us? Well, it leads to what experts call premium shock. Even if you are the world's safest driver and never hit a soul, your insurance is likely going up. In fact, the average US premium has jumped 57% in just 3 years to over $2,500. Insurers are passing the cost of these $3,000 scratches onto everyone. The sensor cliff is real. We are reaching a point where the middle class might be priced out of owning a modern car once the warranty expires. This is why the right to repair movement is becoming so important. If we don't have the right to access the software that calibrates these sensors, we don't really own our cars, we're just long-term renters. So what would you do differently now that you know this? Would you opt for a dumber car if it meant lower insurance? Or is the safety worth every penny of that $3,000 bumper? Drop a comment and let me know your take. I'm genuinely curious if the tech is worth the tax for you. The next time you look at a new car, don't just look at the shiny paint. Look for the hidden eyes. Because in this new era of smart everything, a scratch is no longer just a scratch, it's a software license.